How you guys doing? My name is Amanda, as in who's that? A man, duh. And I'm here to hopefully make it as your future wingman, duh. So in today's video, we are going to actually be addressing childhood and childhood trauma and why actually your childhood and your mothering and your upbringing relate a lot to your dating life in ways that you might not be able to see right now. And I'm not just trying to be annoying to be like, oh wow, look back at your childhood, because I can totally understand why you're just like, I'm living in my circumstance that I'm in right now. I'm like 40 plus years old. I'm like 20 something. Like, what does my childhood have to do with right now? Like, especially with my dating life. Like, you know, this comes down to the fact of the era and the generation we're living in. Like, when I walk outside of my house, like, women just call the police on me. Like, what am I supposed to do looking at my childhood? Like, women are calling the cops on me. Why would my childhood have anything to do with that type of energy, right? So that's what we're going to be looking at today. But what you guys need to understand is your childhood very much does matter. The reason why is because the body and the mind keeps the score. You don't realize, moon card coming through, you don't realize how vulnerable you are when you're just a kid. You don't realize how much the adults in your life have a godlike power over you when you're young. And the reason for this is just because you're young. I work at a middle school. I feel like I say this a lot, but I do. And I work with kids, and there's nothing like working in a sea of children that makes you realize, holy crud muffins. I was totally vulnerable as a child in the control of everyone else around me, how I viewed the world. You don't realize how much gaslighting you go through as a child. Adults are so messed up. So many people have their own problems. And when you're fresh on planet Earth and those people are imposing their belief system on you, that will mess you up. That will create a sense of inauthenticity in you because somebody probably told you that you didn't have what it takes to believe in yourself. And even if they just don't directly tell you that, it's like the body and the mind keep the score. That's what we have to realize. Like, we can't overlook our childhood because of this aspect. And you need to recontextualize the meaning of your past so that it matters. Sorry, I'm like pulling cards, but we got the 8 of air here with the 3 of earth. This to me is like saying that you don't realize that, in a sense, every family household is almost like that of a cult in terms of the influence that it will have on you as a child. And not even that, but the school you go to, everything about it. Adults, the people that you are meant to trust in life, will hurt you and they will disappoint you. And this will shape your life in a way that until you give power to this truth of your past, you can never heal. You're always going to be ignoring certain truths, and you're going to be gaslighting yourself into thinking that certain prominent figures in your life, whether this be your mom, whether this be your sibling, whether this be your teacher, certain prominent figures in your life, you're going to gaslight yourself into thinking that it doesn't matter. And the issue is that when you do that, you can never heal. How are you supposed to? We got the Queen of Water here coming through. This is like empathetic energy. How many of you did not receive that as a kid? How many of you guys are feeling like mothering yourself is toxic because you don't properly know how, because you never had a mother that fully accepted you, but rather that reprimanded you no matter what you tried? And she was trying. Empress card. Sorry. Empress card in reverse here. This quite literally is the mother card. Your mother was trying to protect you, but she hurt you. Until you can see the full picture of your life experience, how are you supposed to heal? You think the beginning of your childhood doesn't matter, but you're one being in one universe. See, you don't realize you're the whole universe yet. So that's why you may not realize the importance of your childhood. If you were the Bible, like as a person, if you were metaphorically the Bible, you're basically saying Adam and Eve doesn't matter. That was just the beginning. Why would Adam and Eve matter? That's just the beginning. Knight of Air card here. You can resolve your personal and emotional issues in a way that can bring you out of your head and in a way that can balance your emotions. You can do this, but you cannot do this if you're ignoring your childhood and if you're ignoring the people and the actual circumstances in your life. Strength card here with the ego card here. Don't fight the healing. Don't fight the battle. Don't fight it. You need to heal from what others have done for you in your past. Otherwise, you're just going to be repeating the same cycle and you're never going to be able to stand in your power. Like, what's very interesting about going through childhood trauma and relearning what you've been through in a way that you disregarded in the past, what's actually very interesting about having that kind of awakening card coming through, is that you'll actually gain so much more confidence for yourself when you realize how much you survived in those first 10, 13, 14, 15, 16 years. Changing of plans, this type of thing. How many of you were raised better as a child and then neglected as a teenager? I know that was a lot of us. And a lot of us are protecting ourselves from getting hurt by the abandonment. We have 9 and 8 here. If you don't want to receive delays in your healing, you have to understand your whole life. Your whole life is the most important life that will walk this planet. And that's what you need to realize. King of Earth here. This is practical. It's practical to go back and understand your childhood. And if you're feeling like an allergic reaction to the thought of that, you must realize that's not your fault. And that reaction could be trying to protect you from great pain. But if you want to best understand yourself, if you want to get out of the delusion that is your mind, you have to take your childhood seriously. You don't realize how many people have stepped on your power until you look back at your childhood. Let's get one more card. Unity card. There are parts of yourself in your subconscious that you hate and you never healed from, and you have to unify it. You have to become one again. Spiritually, there is no healing without unification of the self.